This is the Maectech 5-inch electric suction cup mount. Now, what would you use this particular device for? Because I've done reviews on Maectech's gear in the past. They have a 4-cup suction cup car mount. But sometimes you don't have space for 4 cups, and you need to make sure that that one suction cup is going to hold and hold really well, especially if your camera gear is really expensive. How much does something like this cost? Is this any good? And how does it let you know if the suction is there or not? Well, we're going to answer all of those questions, and I'm even going to give you some test footage because I'm going to take this thing for a drive, a long drive, and we're going to show you how well it performed. So if you want to see how well this thing performs, well, keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Today we're talking about the Maectech 5-inch suction cup mount. Now they don't call it a car mount because you can actually mount it to any flat, non-porous surface and it will hold there pretty good. And as far as I can see, it can hold a little bit more weight than some of the other cup mounts that you can get from other companies. We're going to get into how much weight you can put on this and how well it's built and how long does that battery last, because I'm curious about that myself. So full disclosure, Maectech did send me out the 5-inch suction cup car mount. However, this video is not sponsored. I don't have any paid affiliate links, so if you buy one of these, I don't get a commission and I don't want a commission. If you're new to the channel, I don't have any Patreon, I don't ask you to buy me a coffee, and there's no membership fees, ever. So just watch the video to the end. That's how I get paid, and put up with the commercials, and that is it. Pretty simple, I know. Let's get this out of the box and see what you get in the box. Alright, so let's go to the downward shot. Here we are, 5-inch suction cup car mount, and this is Maectech. Now I've done reviews for them before. Their products were pretty good. When they reached out to me and they wanted me to check this out, I said sure, let's check it out and see how well it does. On the box, and I've already torn a piece off here, electric suction cup base, double ball head magic arm, airy ball head, chute ball head, safety rope, and by the way, I know it's hard to see that, but the safety rope is if you're going to mount this on a car, you should have that so that you don't create any hazards on the road. You don't want to cause an accident or anything like that. You want to make sure that you use that. Action camera adapter, cleaning cloth, wet wipes, which is good to make sure that your surface is clean and non-porous, Type-C charging cable because this is electrically driven, and a small wrench. And here is some manufacturing stuff here, and I'm just going to tilt this. I'm going to show it on the other camera because under this lighting it's very washed out. That is what it looks like. So you can pause your TV and take a look if you like. And now we're going to go to this side. Maectech, Make Creative Tech, of course, and same thing there, and the front. So I already accidentally ripped the back of it there because it's not easy to get in their boxes. All right, so what do we get? Well, we got an instruction manual. That's going to come in handy. We got the cleaning cloth and the, looks like the Allen wrench there. We have the magic arm, and why do they call these a magic arm? Because if you release this one thing, it releases everything. And then when you tighten up this one little dial, then it locks this, and that's why they call it a magic arm. And it's already got the action camera mount. That is your lanyard, and this is your USB-C cable, and here is the device itself. And it looks pretty good. Now I have reviewed their other suction cup mounts. It also has additional connectors, so if you don't want to use the NATO rail, you can. Looks like you have a power button, and you don't have to remove this to activate it, but you remove this to charge it. Alright, well made for the feel. The feel looks pretty good, a little bit of weight to it. And There is your wipes. They always include them, by the way. This is what it looks like. Now you remove this. This is their cover, and they had this on their other mounts as well. And this just keeps this in good condition. Now this part here looks like a filter, and that is because it's going to take air away from here. So that's for the pump, and I'm just looking at this part. So I'm going to go to the other shot. That's what it looks like when you have it there. A little hard to see, and that's not a white dot, that's actually a filter. Right, how this mounts is it's going to slide on the NATO rail. You can do this, and then you can mount that. Right, I'm going to put this back on just to protect it. Okay, right, we're locked in place, and you want to put a GoPro or an Insta360 or a DJI Osmo 360 or Nano. I'm probably going to put the Nano on there, but you could actually mount two cameras. Now the one thing I want to show you, and I'm hoping it's got a little bit of charge to it. Let's just see something here. I'm going to turn it on, but before I do, I'm going to move this out of the way. Actually, let's move it to this side, because you see this little line right here? That looks like an indicator. There we go. And I think this is how this goes, because there's a little space here for this to move. I had it backwards. All right. Now I'm going to turn it on. Let's see if we got power. There we go. And as soon as I turned it on, it sensed a surface. If I stick it down a little bit, it's probably not going to secure onto this surface because this is wood. This tells me that the sensor is working. Do I have anything that is non-porous that it could grab onto? I think I might, and we can demonstrate that. Maybe this. So here's a box, and it's on the box. Now you see this indicator right here? This tells you if you have cup, like suction. This tells you if you're in the red, in the green, but it's in the red, so that might indicate to me the level of charge. I'm just going to see something here. So I'm going to leave it on there, and I'm going to shut it off too and see what happens. Does it still hold onto the box? Yeah. So if you lost power, you still have suction, but it's not going to have a sensor to maintain that suction. You're just going to lose it. It's on there though. I'm surprised. Still there. It says to charge and discharge the battery every 6 months to maintain the battery. Don't let your kids play with it. And that was a filter, by the way, a cotton filter. It says a blue indicator on the bar indicates proportional real-time air pressure, 0 to 100%. So we had 100%. Just so you know, the nice thing about an electric pump is it's going to compensate, so you don't have to worry about is it going to slowly lose suction and then fall off your vehicle. This thing is going to maintain the suction, and that is the whole point. It's going to save your camera and save you a whole lot of grief. 2000 milliamp hour lithium battery, 5 volts, 5 amps, 5 watts. It takes 10 watts to charge it. It can be charged over 300 times. There we go. I'm just trying to figure out what the weight capacity is of this thing. And we're static. It says vertical mount, load capacity. The suction cup mount has a load capacity of 88.2 pounds vertically. Horizontally, it has a load capacity of 132.2 pounds. I'm going to put that in the description. It says check the status of the suction once every 24 hours. And if you're using it on a vehicle, it says do not go over 11.1 pounds. Do not go above 50 miles per hour. And the battery should be used in environments ranging from -25, which would be Canada, to +60. It says after you fully charge it, don't use it for 24 hours in a row. Always check the battery status. And that is it. I'm just going to go back to me really quick. I don't know how long the battery will last for when you run it continuously. I imagine it's going to last for at least 3 or 4 or 5 hours. Once it reaches suction, it just has to maintain that suction. How much energy does the sensor use? I'm going to test that on my little road trip with it. Let's do that test, and then we're going to come back to the studio, and then I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this device, and we're going to get into the cost of it because it's a little more than $100. But if it can hold like 100 pounds, and if it can hold like 12 pounds on a moving car at 50 miles an hour, that's pretty good. Like, it's not even powered on right now. I turned the thing off and it's still stuck. And this is just a cardboard box. I didn't get a piece of glass or anything like that, because that's usually where I would recommend mounting it. Make sure your surfaces are flat and not curved. That's why I usually recommend glass. Sunroofs are excellent. That's where I mounted the last one. Rear windows are good. Let's go check out that footage, and then we'll come back here, give you my final thoughts, and we'll go from there. Okay, so right now I have the suction cup mount, the 5-inch one by Maectech. This is an electric powered suction cup mount. It's mounted to a truck, and it's also mounted in more of a difficult position, but also in one that I thought was also safe. So I'm going to just turn the camera around and show you what I got. So here it is here. Now I've got 2 cameras mounted. I've got the DJI Action 6, and I've also got the Osmo Nano. So the Osmo Nano is going to be remotely monitoring the suction cup pressure. So this is the indicator, or this is the sensor here, and it's going to let me know how much pressure I have. On the inside, I've got the tether. So I mounted the tether just in case it does come loose, so that way we're going to be safe, because we are going to be going on the highway. So we're going to be really putting this thing through its paces. It's rated for 50 miles an hour. We may exceed that a little bit, but I do have the tether. This is just an extra wire. We took off the whole overhead rack so that we could get this job done. So my friend was very gracious in helping me with that. So now this magic arm is not included with the kit, but like I said, I wanted to really push this thing to its limits and show you what it could do. So this is going to be an hour trip. This is going to be a time lapse. I'm going to activate it, and we're just going to go from there and see what happens. So you're going to get one view from here looking at the monitor on the sensor, and then this one's going to be the scenic picture, and I'll put them both in there. So I'm just going to do the one-way trip. The weather is not the greatest today. If you look up in the sky, we are definitely overcast, and it is Canada. It's cold. We're in Montreal. Okay, so we're back in the studio. I'm obviously got some different clothes on because I did some testing on this unit, and I will tell you that I was very happy with the results of how this device performed, because when this thing goes to lose suction, like as wind or any external forces try to force this thing to lose suction, that's when the motor kicks in. The motor's not running continually. It only senses when it's losing suction, and then it reinstates that suction, and you can tell by looking at the gauge meter. So when you look at that time-lapse video that I had, you'll see that the meter would go up and down a little bit. It'd have a little bit of a wave there. And that wave tells you that it was losing suction, the motor kicks in, and it reinstates the suction. It did exactly what it was designed to do. Very, very professional, very, very safe. Other thing I want to tell you that I was actually really excited to learn was that you can actually power this device externally through the USB port while you're using it. Now, you are going to lose a little bit of your water resistance rating on the USB-C plug right there, because you're going to have to take off the rubber cap, but you can power it while you're using it, and that's really cool. Because if you needed to use it for a longer period of time, or you needed to give it a boost while you're using it, you can do that. And I thought that that's a very good design also. You know, a lot of people are going to say, well, what happens when the battery goes dead? Well, it doesn't have to. If you're using it in a car configuration that I was, I could literally run a USB-C cable from the vehicle out through the window also, stick it into there, and I could literally power it for hours and hours and hours, no problem. It's just going to continually charge it. Now, the other thing you could do is you can get one of these V-mount batteries. This one here is from Newer, and I did a video on this as well. And this guy here has USB-C output. This is a 99 watt-hour battery, and it would power this thing for days. There are really cool options for things like this. Was there anything that I didn't like about this unit? Well, it does come with a rather, shoelace looking tether, and I do think that they should have some kind of an external upgrade kit. A lot of insurance companies, if you're filming in a professional setup, are going to demand that there be a tether system in place, regardless of how good the suction cup is. So even if you have a suction cup system, which is very reliable, and I do think that this is a very reliable system, I would not have put $1,000 worth of cameras on there if I didn't think it was reliable. So what I'm saying is that we always have to be concerned about safety, things like, if your device was to come off the car and break someone's windshield and things like that, you could cause an accident. You have to think about the safety of other people, not just what you're doing. I would recommend that they include something a little better than this, or have it as an option. People like me would definitely pay for those options because we use our cameras in a more professional setup. The other thing that I would recommend, and if you notice in the video, I had one camera pointed at the meter to show the meter going up and down, when the pump would kick in, when it would not, when it would sense that it needed suction, when it didn't, is I would have a wireless Bluetooth indicator. So not everybody's going to have a setup like mine where I can monitor the levels on the unit itself. So having something that is handheld, so let's say I'm using it in a car and I want to say, well, is the device losing suction? I would know wirelessly, what the device is doing. So having some kind of feedback to the user in a wireless fashion would be a cool setup. Now, this could also be an option, like if there was a way to put transmitters on their future units and include, like wireless remotes, that sort of thing, where we can actually see the suction cup level, the battery level, which also would be good. So right now we have a light on there and it's either green or red. It kind of gives you, your basics. But when you're putting a $3,000 or $4,000 camera on something, I would like to know a percentage. Is it at 80%? Is it at 60%? Is it at 50%? That sort of thing. And I think that that is not unreasonable for someone like me or other people that are putting, you know, expensive gear on these things to ask for that type of information. So that could be an option. Again, you know, these are things that you can have different models. So you could have a base model for people that just use it indoors. You could have a more professional model which comes with a, you know, a tether and maybe has a wireless transmitter to tell you what your levels are, your battery level is, all that other stuff. And then you can have like a super professional model that comes with, you know, extra magic arms, that sort of things. These are things that I think Maectech would actually benefit from as a company. I also think it gives users options. So this way people would buy one knowing, well, which one is at what price point. So, you know, when companies build things like this, they want to remain competitive. So having different models in different categories will, you know, still have, you know, that competitive edge, but it will also give options to people that have more professional gear. You know, hey, you know, I would like to have that wireless transmitter option because that is one thing that I really enjoyed having the Nano is I'm like, well, at least I know that it's holding because I can see it in my wireless display screen, and that's kind of cool. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making it. I'd like to thank Maectech for sending out the 5-inch suction cup mount. It was a really cool device. I really feel that being able to charge this thing while you're using it is going to be a decision maker for a lot of people that are looking into these. So if you wanted to know that critical piece of information, yes, you can. So take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.